All right, you guys, we are back once again. We're going to be taking a look at the press conference after game number 7, a very epic fight between Ding and Gukesh, which ended in a draw. One player is probably going to be very happy. One player is going to be very disappointed. So let's get right into the action. Feel free to drop your comments. I've not seen the press conference yet, so let's get right into it. Here we go. Wait, what? There we go. Okay, here we go.
Throughout this match, and especially this game, as long as it was, I will ask a couple of questions of the players.
By the way, first things first, you guys, I'm going to apologize. The sound is not on my end. This is on the end of FIDE. This has been a consistent problem every single day, by the way, and it's really quite annoying to have to deal with. I'm not going to lie. It's really annoying. Like, this is not on my end, but every day there's some problem with the microphones. I mean, literally, you've got this massive budget and they can't they can't have good tech. It's really annoying. Let's listen in though.
In the press, you can line up to the left at the microphones. Please restrict your questions to just one and let others have the opportunity, but you may return to the microphone later to have follow-up questions.
Okay.
My first question goes to the challenger. Gukesh, you had a position that seemed rich, capable of playing for quite some time, maybe with some advantage. What's your immediate impression after the game?
Yeah, I thought I should be winning at some point in this. Maybe before
the audio is not good, you guys. I think it's fine. I think the audio is fine, right? Or is it not fine? Maybe it's not. Let me see if I can find it on the other channel. Let me see. Maybe this isn't so great. Yeah, because you're right. It's out of sync. So let me find the let me find the other channel which is showing it. Yeah, it's out of sync, I think. Oh no, it's not out of sync. It's all the same. Okay. It's all the same. It's all the same. Okay, never mind. Let's keep going.
For quite some time, maybe with some advantage. What's your immediate impression after the game?
Yeah, I thought I should be winning at some point.
Okay.
In this, maybe before the queen exchange and also
correct
after
assessment.
the queen exchange,
Correct
should be winning. But after he played f6, it was kind of tricky.
Ooh, whoa, so he thought f6 was so he thought f6 it was tricky. F6 was actually a huge mistake, which made the win a lot easier. F6 was actually a mistake by Ding. Without f6, with was it rook d5, rook d4, I think it was supposed to be a draw, or it was very close to a draw without perfect play, but he played f6, which is interesting.
When I played bishop d1, I just missed that he has
fg3?
f4, take rook c4, rook h3.
He missed
and
this one.
f3
Okay,
has rook h1. So yeah, I don't know where exactly the win was, but
it's the same thing, you guys. It's the same thing. I was told by my mods it's the exact same thing that on the FIDE channel. It's the exact same problem. It's all out of sync. So that's just how it is. But we still can understand what's being said.
There was one moment, I think, when you traded queens, you could have played maybe bishop g5, or when you played queen f4, you could have played bishop e3 instead. Just pointing out.
So Maurice, of course, there were two moments. There's a moment where he could play bishop e3 to guard the queen, and the second moment to keep bishops on the board. I thought not trading the queens was trading the queens was fine, but not keeping the bishop pair was a huge mistake. Anyway, don't spoil it, you guys. We're going to listen to the whole press conference. All right, what? Oh, it's frozen. Okay.
Here.
I mean, this is difficult to play. This is not
after
the bishop g5 is the actual question.
Maybe play bishop g5 and play the two bishops. Did you consider either one of these two moves?
Yeah, I considered a bit, but I thought this endgame with this f5 weakness and the pawn up should be winning, but probably it was more difficult than I had expected.
To the world champion.
Also, I'm gonna say something, you guys. Again, you know what my first big takeaway from this press conference is? Gukesh is losing objectivity. Like, it hasn't hurt him so far because he's gotten great positions, but he's losing the objectivity is what I feel like. In that it's every game he thinks he's winning now. He thinks he's winning. He thinks he's much better now. This game he was winning, but the assumption that endgame was just winning, where he trades the queens and trades the bishop, is I mean, that's not being objective, because when I look at that endgame at the start with the queen trade and the bishop trade, I think it's closer to a draw than a win. It is winning with perfect play most likely, but it's closer, I think, to a draw. And I feel like he's starting to lose the objective nature, which is that's not a good sign either. Now, mind you, to be fair, he could just be really upset about this game. Like, let's be real. Like, he just messed up a game that he should have won. And if he won today, he would win the world championship. I think that's a pretty safe bet. So like we do have to be fair about that, but I do feel like in general his evaluations, like, always, it feels like it's veering a little bit off course to me, is what it feels like. It's winning with perfect play, but I think there's basically a very narrow path to a win and many paths to a draw, basically. So I'm saying, like, if you play every best move, you'll win the game, but if you don't play every best move, most likely it's going to be a draw. That's effectively what I'm saying.
It's definitely a difficult defense. When did you sense that maybe you were in trouble?
Well, immediately after c5, I saw he can play d5, and yeah, he can take the knight.
What?
He can take with both bishop and maybe also queen, and he didn't need to play e5 and then just take, and cannot take on d5. Here I saw time my positions are.
Wait, whoa. I mean, Ding. I mean, basically to translate this, Ding is effectively saying he was out of prep. He was just out of prep and he just winged it by playing c5. That is not a good sign, actually. That is not a good sign. And it's why I think what I would say, like, to me, I mean, when people get annoyed at me for saying, like, Ding is making the draws with white, why isn't he trying harder, like he's in the match? And that's one thing. It's because with black, he's basically getting crushed out of the opening in terms of prep. Like, he's basically having to wing it on, like, before move 10 in a lot of these games. And sooner or later, that's going to come back to bite him. Like, it is going to come back to bite him at some point. You can't keep doing that. So I'm pretty shocked by this, actually. It's c5. Like, I mean, he basically was just on his own this early.
It was, and in the end, very hard defense. Here, I'm considering take a knight e4. I didn't see any straightforward win, but I just don't know.
But, you know, there's one important point in here which I don't know if they're going to talk about it later, which is really important, is that the reason this is a tough spot to be in is because Ding was down like an hour on the clock yet again for like the third or fourth time in this match. And being down so much time is a huge issue. If he had an hour to think, I don't think his assessment here would be quite the same, actually. I think his assessment would be a little bit different.
I can play this like this or not here. And then I decided to go for c4, but this move came as a surprise.
Okay.
Don't know where to put the
Maybe I'll put the speed on 1.25.
Yeah, here I thought
I'll put speed on 1.25.
hopeless.
I'll put it a little bit faster.
Yeah, because my intention was to take on a2 after queen f6, but I realized after king g2, my position is very bad. Lack of coordinates. Or maybe it's not so bad. Difficult to understand.
But again, also the point with this position, as I said in my recap, is the best move is knight 8 to d7. No human is going to play knight 8 d7 here. So like, this just shows like the difference between humans and computers. Yeah, a computer plays knight d7, and probably actually a computer with black here beats any human. But the point is, it's just not realistic.
When you were in this situation, you talked about hopeless. How did you get the resolve to find all the defensive moves, or did you think you were just going to possibly just lose the game?
Yeah, I was beaten many times. First in the opening, the middle game, and in the queen 4, I thought it very strong.
By the way, that's I don't think he's doing that on purpose, but I very much feel like Ding unintentionally is like roasting Gukesh. It's like, I was beaten in the opening, I was beaten in the middle game, I was beaten in the end game, but I didn't lose the game. Like, that's actually really funny. If I'm being honest, that literally, it's an unintentional roast of Gukesh, but it's like, yeah, I was basically beaten every part of the game, but I didn't lose the game.
And yeah, I'm happy to find this defensive idea, at least to create some counterplays over his pawns. But here, still, it's very difficult.
He's not wrong, true.
Maybe this is the way to play. The rook h4.
Also, by the way, I want to say one thing here too, which I think I've said, like, they should not be using a computer here. They should not be looking at the evaluation bar here. Being able to look at the evaluation bar really muddies the waters. There should be no evaluation bar. They should just be talking as humans who have played the game without this extra computer input. Because now they're looking at lines with a computer, and now already what you hear is starting to be polluted a little bit.
Kind of blockade. I'm curious about a moment in the game.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm speaking to the challenger now. You had a moment to play rook d2 instead of rook to f4.
Okay, so those of you guys who are asking a question, oh god, we're gonna hear rook d2 now. We're gonna hear this thing, which I also commented on in my recap. Did you consider rook d2? Like, again, not a human move. We're getting into the stockfish line of insane stuff. But you know, someone asked a question: do I think that Gukesh is underperforming or Ding is overperforming? I'm going to give you guys my hot take of the day. Okay. My hot take of the day is that I think that Ding is overperforming a little bit, but I think in large part he's overperforming because Ding is overperforming because Gukesh is underperforming massively. In my opinion, when I look at these games, you look at game number 1, I know that Ding won that game, but he was in trouble very early on the clock. He seemed very nervous. I know he turned it around, but he was in a lot of trouble in game 1. Game 3, okay, we can talk about objective evaluation, but he got out prepped, in trouble again. Game 5 was just a queenless endgame, not much, but game 7 again, under a lot of pressure, down a lot of time on the clock. And it feels to me like it's more Gukesh not taking advantage of his opportunities than Ding being great. So that's my personal take. You don't have to agree with that. I mean, of course, Ding defended like a boss today, but I would also say as a separate take, because I know something people have been wondering, a lot of people have felt like if Gukesh wins, is Magnus going to want to come back? And my actual takeaway is I think that as Magnus is watching this match, he's probably very disappointed because I think that he has high hopes and he wants to see these kids who can be competitive with him. And I get the feeling that when when Magnus looks at this match, especially today, Magnus is probably thinking to himself, like, I would have won this game 10 times. And Gukesh, and so basically if I were to play Gukesh, I would just dominate him and it wouldn't be really close. So my hot take of the day is I don't think even if Ding wins, it's going to actually make like Magnus want to come back anymore. Is what I would say. I could be wrong on that, but that's just my general takeaway. So let's keep going.
This move.
Yeah, I thought knight b4, I didn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
After knight b4, this move. And reroute the bishop to this diagonal. Put the pawn on d7 to play like this.
By the way, fun fact, you guys. Fun fact. I'm going to pause the video again. I said this in my recap, literally. I said rook d2 and d6 is a computer line that a computer will find, and it's great for white. And sure enough, Gukesh didn't even consider it because it's not something you're going to see as a human. We're not stockfish. Like, it really is starting to get on my nerves the way that we're seeing these ridiculous computer lines that will not happen ever. It's getting really, really annoying. Thank you so much to Chess24 for the raid. I appreciate it with 3,060 people. It's so annoying to me. I literally said this in my recap. I said computer likes rook d2 with bishop e2, and it's great for white. But in a human game, you see the king coming to e6 or e5, and you don't play. You don't even consider it. And here we have Maurice literally with stockfish, and he's giving these lines that are just not human. And it's the biggest problem we currently have, in my opinion, when you look at top level chess, is that the evaluation bar on these lines, like, everybody looks like a genius. Everybody looks like a massive genius suddenly. But this would never happen in a game, as I said in my recap. And you see it right here from Gukesh. Gukesh is like, yeah, I didn't even consider it, basically. And it's just, it really, really annoys me. It really annoys me to see this. It really annoys me. I'm not gonna lie. It really annoys me. It's just like, this is just, it's not a human line. Like, use your brain. We're not stockfish. We're not 3600. Like, yes, you can look at a game of stockfish and you can laugh at anybody. You could laugh at me, laugh at Magnus, laugh at literally any game at like 10 mistakes that are played in the game, even top level chess. And that's why it bugs me when I see this, because like, it really feels like it's diminishing how hard both these players worked in this game. It really diminishes it for me.
Yeah, I did not really consider.
Yeah, you didn't consider it, of course, because you don't consider it. You see a6 stops the bishop, the king comes to e5.
Yeah, but probably I was just playing under the assumption that rook f4 and b5 should just be winning. If I manage to consolidate, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really consider any alternatives.
Last question from me before I open to the press. Golden opportunity, what are your feelings? Was a real chance to win this game? That the chance was missed?
Yeah, it's never pleasant to miss a winning position. But I'm happy about the fact that I outplayed my opponent quite easily in the opening, and yeah, after that it's a missed chance, but also there are some positives to take, and I'll try not to repeat the mistake in the next games.
And sort of the same question to you.
Let me slow down. Let me slow down speed. Now I feel like it's a little bit too fast. Let me slow back to speed to normal, and let's keep going.
In a hopeless situation, and you were given a second life. Your feelings for that opportunity.
Yeah, I nearly gave up when I saw King E1 because here
nearly gave up. Wow.
I don't know how to create counterplay. Rook D4, he had Rook C4.
No, but this was winning for white. That was sped up, yeah.
Not win, not lose.
This was not winning. No, this was not winning.
Hard to believe. So I thought I just try to take my luck and try to stay in the game. And here I'm very lucky, as he said before.
Yeah, it was Rook H1, Rook H1 trick, yeah.
Rook C4, not losing immediately. Suddenly my position is quite playable, even maybe not losing anymore.
No, I believe him. By the way, you guys, I believe it. When Ding says he considered giving up, I was actually watching this, and my view was that yes, Ding looked completely out of it. He looked like he was ready to resign, and then he just played F6 because you can't resign that position because there are too many pieces on the board. But that's my view. Is I think he just played F6 just to play a move. But I think I mean, looking at his body language live, it felt to me like he was very close to resigning.
Yeah, you sound like you think it's a miracle that you saved this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, King E4, I thought a very strong move, but the computer just laughing at it. Very strange. I thought he played extremely well by Bishop E3, Rook D4. Maybe it's not the case. So I made many mistakes, but fortunately I saved the game.
All right, first question from the press.
Okay, here we go. Questions.
This one will be in the native language of Grandmaster Gukesh. I am Vasudevan from Taransia, Trinity Mirror, and Chess.Ninja. திரு குகேஷ் இப்போது சரிபாதியாக 14 கேமில் வந்து 7 கேம் முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. பொசிஷன் இப்போது அதை பற்றி உங்கள் கருத்து என்ன?
May we ask you to translate that for us?
I'm asking that we are in the midway and the point position is 3.5 each, and what does he feel about that?
Yeah, the score is fine.
He's gonna respond in English.
Obviously today was a missed chance. So that
in English now.
That is a bit of a disappointment, but he missed some chances earlier in the match. So that is.
That's just great. That's just great.
Yeah, that is. I think that is fair that we are here, but yeah, the second half will be, of course, the crucial one.
நீங்கள் தமிழில் பதில் சொன்னால் உங்கள் தமிழ் ரசிகர்கள் கொஞ்சம் சந்தோஷம்.
He wants to respond in the language now.
கேள்வி வந்து ஒரு கட்டத்தில் வந்து நீங்கள் நல்லா இருந்தது பொசிஷன், அப்புறம் கடைசியில் ஒரு 2 செகண்ட் வரைக்கும் போயிடுச்சு உங்கள் கிளாக்கில். 2 செகண்ட் மட்டும்தான் இருந்தது. அப்போ பார்க்குறவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் ஒரு ஹார்ட் பீட் மிஸ் மாதிரி ஒரு சுச்சுவேஷன் இருந்தது. அப்போ உங்களுடைய நிலைமை அந்த மாதிரி எப்படி இருந்தது? I'm just asking him that at some point of time he had an advantage, and subsequent to that he went down to the final 2 seconds on his clock when a huge number of his followers were missing a heartbeat. So what does he would want to say about that?
ஆமாம், நான் அந்த பொசிஷனில் இன்னும் எப்படி கண்டினியூ பண்ணதுன்னு பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன். பட் கிளாக் 2 செகண்ட்ஸ் இருக்குன்னு எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சது. ஸோ ஐ வாஸ் கோயிங் டு, நான் எப்படியும் மூவ் வைக்க தான் போயிருந்தேன். ஆனால் அந்த பொசிஷனில் ஒன்றும் பண்ணுறதுக்கு இல்லை.
ஓகே.
Anyway, he said that he was very much aware of the clock ticking by and 2 seconds, and he said he is very much in control, so he wasn't too carried away with the reducing of time. So thank you, Nandri, Mr. Gukesh.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Next question.
Leoncho Garcia from El País. A question for each of you. To Dean Liren. Why did you reject Queen B8, which apparently looks quite solid, instead of
Oh my
going for
god.
such a very
Oh my
risky
god. Literally,
Queen
I
C6?
swear, like it's hilarious. Here we go with another question. I literally answer this question in my recap. The reason is Ding Liren was too low on time. He was in a spot where he couldn't afford to think for 5 minutes because he had 17 minutes at that point. And if he thought for 5 or 6 minutes on an individual move, he was going to get cooked on the clock. He had no time to think. He had to basically go. He had to go do or die. I literally explained this exact question in my recap. I mean, just unbelievable to me. Literally unbelievable. What happened is he didn't have time to think here. He had 17 minutes. So you can ask the question about, like, you know, Ding Liren's time management, for example, but asking this question just shows a complete lack of understanding about how chess works. Like, these are questions like he might as well ask the question. He might be like, you know what, why didn't you play like Stockfish? You know, why didn't you just play like Stockfish? Why didn't you go Queen B8? Why didn't you play Knight D7? I mean, why didn't you just play like Stockfish? I mean, that's a better question, honestly.
Taking
He was in a situation where he didn't have the time. 0 increment, you got to go for it.
Gukesh, you say that you felt like winning at some moment. Suddenly, you weren't winning anymore. How did you manage your emotions changing? How did you keep your emotional...
Queen B8 is the top move according to Stockfish, I believe. Or it was on the weak engine I looked at.
Because here, if Queen B8 or Queen C7, he will also go Bishop D4. I thought the position very bad. Because I didn't have any direct play. Maybe Knight D7 has some square on E5. Not so easy.
Game was a draw for anyone who's wondering. I have my recap up on YouTube. I think a lot of people already saw it since I wasn't streaming this morning. Okay.
Yeah, I think I need to do some immediate
something
actions.
active, yeah. Something
Otherwise,
active
my
immediately.
position is very bad. So
Yeah.
I totally miss evaluated.
Agreed 100% with what Ding said there. Have to do something active.
I mean, when I missed this F4 Rook H3 defense, it was unpleasant, of course. But yeah, I still thought I could maybe continue the game somehow, but it was very hard to find anything. Obviously, it was not pleasant emotionally, but yeah, I mean, anyways, that position, I guess, was already the result was decided. So I didn't have to like really control my emotions or anything.
Thank you.
Next.
I'm Xiaobing from Organization. I have questions for Ding Liren and for both. First of all, 请丁立人用中文说一下今天这盘棋的过程。谢谢。
We would just like to ask Ding Liren about his thought process for today's game in Mandarin. Thank you.
今天是盘看了引擎之后是一盘过山车一般的对决，然后我被击败了很多次，但是最后没有被打倒，还是顽强的站了起来，守住了一盘和棋。对，过程就跌宕起伏吧，难以用语言。
Thanks for the raid, you guys. We'll get to all that afterwards.
我在很多时候都做出了错误的那个决定。
I can't hear it either. The sound is terrible. Sound is horrible.
在很多情况下都已经非常危险了，但是最后还是侥幸的捡回了一条命。
谢谢。Ding says that today's game was an absolute roller coaster of a game, but at the very end, he managed to not be knocked down, and he is very satisfied with that result, and he is going to be fighting for another day.
接下来有一个问题问两位棋手，就是每天比完赛之后到睡觉前会做一些什么？谢谢。
This question is for both players, and we would like to know what the players are doing before bed after every single game.
首先肯定是复盘，复完盘之后，然后吃晚饭，除了吃饭之外
Maurice doesn't look amused.
也就是上网吧。 没有特别的。
Ding says that after every game, he is reviewing the games and having dinner. And apart from having dinner, he is also occasionally browsing the web, but nothing special.
Okay, next question. Let's go.
I'm yeah, after the games I'm having a dinner and yeah, relaxing a bit and going to sleep.
Thank you very much.
Hello, Toril Skytte from Danish Chess Magazine. My question goes to both players.
Could you come a little closer to the mic, please?
Our young readers would like to know what your favorite chess book was when you were about 10 to 12 years old.
This is a much better question, even if it's a boring, generic question. It's a much better question.
We have answered this question last round.
So
maybe you are not there.
She said 12 to 13.
Sorry.
At 10 to 12. I'm forgetting your answer, actually. 10 to 12 years old. Didn't you guys say?
Yeah, we both said the same book.
But the book wasn't out when they were
Game
12 years
Changer.
old. But
Game Changer didn't come out when you were 10 to 12 years old. Maybe when he was 10 to 12 years old.
I mean, it's like it's so unnecessary to make. I mean, Ding doesn't really speak English that well. Like, it's just
Go ahead.
Yeah, asking on behalf of your FIDE social media followers, this time from Sumit Tengale. According to a statistical study by Dr. Mehmet Ismail, this match is the most accurate of all World Championship matches. Does it feel like that when you're playing over the board?
First things first, I'm going to say this. I bet that today's game ruined the perfection. Today's game ruined that stat, but I will also say that is complete nonsense, and it shows why statistics, frankly, are, as far as chess goes, are very mysterious, because when you look at this, fact of the matter is when players blitz out a ton of preparation, you don't have to actually do anything special. Like, as far as Gukesh goes, he's been blitzing out 20 moves of prep literally every game. So when you play 20 perfect moves, quote unquote, because you prepared for the game, that doesn't show the actual quality. So I mean, there should be a way statistically to qualify it versus just like, you should basically say like, until they use 5 minutes on a move, it's literally preparation. So I don't really, I mean, I don't really like the I don't like the study, if I'm being honest, but it is what it is.
That is quite a surprise, because
it's not.
I think
that's
there
why.
are just pretty much all the games there is something something funny happening. So I don't know. I can't really believe it's the most accurate match so far.
Maybe before this game.
My question is for Grandmaster Gukesh. Vanakkam, Yanpayer, MikeKleinChess.com. I'll switch from Tamil back to English now. Gukesh, what do you take away from this game? This, on one level, you had an opening advantage, and for much of the game, you could have expected to win. Does that give you some hope, or are you maybe a little frustrated that you had them on the ropes but weren't able to convert? What's your biggest emotion right now after such a struggle?
I guess always, like when you don't convert a winning position, it's always, at least the first few minutes, it's a bit disappointing. But yeah, I mean, it was a huge chance and I missed it, but still a lot of games to go. And one huge positive is that I felt really good on the board, and I was obviously outplaying him from the start. So that's a very good good thing to know.
Again, this is what I said earlier. I'm picking up on it again. Is there's a little bit too much optimism, or I don't want to say arrogance because it's the wrong word, but I feel like outplaying is. I mean, it's not about outplaying him. It's more that Gukesh's prep has been much better than Ding's prep. So like I don't really have an issue with the way he's saying it in general, but I feel like overall he's a little, it felt like there's like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as down to earth as he usually is. So it's like it's just interesting. I mean, you say I was out playing. I mean, by obviously outplaying him, the reason I don't agree with that is because the reason he got the great position is because of prep. What he should be saying is like, my preparation has been dominant. My team, Gaevsky, whoever else is working for him, they've been doing a great job, and I've been getting great positions, as opposed to like just like, I mean, outplaying is a little bit far. Because honestly, in this match, I would argue that if you take out the preparation, Ding is outplaying Gukesh overall. I think that Ding is outplaying him, because you look at game 1, Ding's getting blown out of the water out of the opening, then he plays great in the middle, game wins. Game 3, Gukesh is great prep, and Ding again is able to sort of blunt that prep before he just blunders a piece. Game 5, kind of the same sort of thing. So a little bit questionable to me when to say this, as opposed to just like saying my team is just kicking with their great prep.
The biggest lesson, I guess, is to stay focused and convert good positions.
It sounds like you're a glass half full kind of person.
Sorry?
You're generally a positive person.
Yeah, I try.
Thanks.
Hello everyone, Aditya from ChessBase India. First of all, congratulations to both Ding and Gukesh for giving us this wonderful game. I would like to point out that at one point of time there were 205,000 people live watching your game on ChessBase India. So yes, Ding, Gukesh, what a start you had in the game, and Ding, what a defense. The perfect game we can say from the tournament. My question is, Rook E1 was a very interesting choice in the opening. You played it out very fast. Could you please tell us the idea behind it? And also to Ding, when you saw Rook E1, what was your thoughts, what lines you were thinking? Because you took a lot of time. Thank you.
Yeah, Rook E1.
Rook E1 is all prep.
I don't know if it's completely new, but it's a relatively new move in the opening. Yeah, obviously this was a preparation, and the point is to go like DC4 E4. I mean, the main point is to just get a new position on the board. But yeah, my opponent didn't react in a very precise way. So I guess the idea worked
success.
well.
Yeah, it was a success for sure.
Yeah, just prep. It worked well. Only thing to improve is the conversion.
Well, when I saw this move, I was just come back from toilet. It was totally shock. So I spent a lot of time on this move, on my reply. Yeah, maybe my reply was not so accurate. Yeah, he can enjoy some advantage. Yeah, bishop pair, and also very strong passed pawn. The only weakness for him is the knight is not so well placed. But he played creatively by playing b4. And for me, I thought it was a totally failure during the game, because I thought I was getting outplayed. But like many times, maybe my position not so bad. Maybe I should be more confident of my position.
I mean, I think like what Ding is saying is true, actually, in general. I think what would I question if I were doing a press conference? I mean, the general questions that I would ask would be very specific about certain moments. Like with Ding, I would be asking about his time usage, because I feel like the problem is, if you aren't at a certain level, like when Leandro Garcia asked a question about Queen B8, like it's a perfect example of, at a certain level, if you aren't there, and I said this also in my recap, by the way, if you're below master level, you're not going to understand how critical time is, and time usage specifically. And like I would be asking Ding a lot about the time usage, because when he went Queen A6, at that point that was clearly an all-in moment. You have to go for it. But the time usage would be what I would ask about, because his time usage has not been good overall, and I feel like it cost him dearly in game 3. It very nearly cost him today as well. So it feels like if he can fix that, or like deal with increment versus no increment, that could make a big difference as well. Is what I would say. I would ask that for Gukesh. I mean, I'd probably just be asking like, how big is your team? Because the ideas they're coming up with are pretty good so far. They're very good ideas. That's probably what I would ask Gukesh if I could ask a question.
Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Josu Tornay from Berea, from the Basque Country. My question is for Ding Liren. It is about the opening choice. It's about move c5. Why did you choose c5 instead of the more normal, let's say, b5?
Oh no! Oh no, you guys! I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I don't know what this guy's rating is, but I'm gonna be honest. This is literally an example of you see Stockfish say play b5, and Gukesh already in a way answered this question when he said rookie one. He doesn't know if it's completely new, but it's pretty rare. Like rookie one already is pretty rare. Like again, the normal b5. I mean, again, that's not normal because your opponent is juiced to the gills with preparation, and you have no idea what he's going to play against it. So like saying normal, I mean, that's just not it. That misses the spot completely. Like he played c5 because he wasn't sure what to do, and he probably thought c5 was leading to a simpler position. But yeah, the normal b5, it just ay.
So move 9.
I mean, I'll tell you why you don't play b5. It's because Gukesh is blitzing every move. This is a world championship match. He's had months to prepare. You know that he has something really good. You also probably know that b5 is the best move in the position. So there's sort of an equation going on where you're thinking about, you know, do I want to play the best move and keep going into his prep, or would I try to play something different that also seems logical and makes sense? And like this is a good example. This is a very, very good example of how like this is a question that would like it would just like this would kill me if I were ever asked this question. It's just such a ridiculous question because like this something at a high level chess is completely different. No, I mean b5 is of course like probably the best move, but it's also probably a move that Gukesh would have been able to rattle off another 5 to 10 moves in because he had looked at it. Because like when you're at the top level preparing for games, you look at the top computer lines. So one of the biggest things you want to do is you want to find little sidelines. You want to find little ways outside the main lines, like the second, third, fourth, fifth line in various openings, so your opponent might not be aware of it. Playing the top line, your opponent's gonna be prepared, and you're just gonna get blown away if you don't know what you're doing. And obviously at this point, Ding was already out of prep after rookie one. So playing so this question is just a bad question.
The way to play b5, h3, and go back bishop, yes.
But with knowing your opponent's in prep, you can't do this. Knowing your opponent's in prep, you can't do this.
I can have some c5 in line. Yeah.
You can't do this. When your opponent's prepped, you can't do this.
Because I overlooked d5, h3, this very simple idea. c5 is open the diagonal of the right square bishop, so it's a very risky decision.
Well, the reason it's a bad question, you guys, in the eyes of a GM, the reason it's a bad question is because the people asking questions do not understand what top level preparation looks like, how it feels when you play an opponent who's blitzing out every single move, you know, one move after another. That general feeling where you feel like you're playing against Stockfish is one of the worst feelings in the world that you can have. And that was definitely happening. It was happening, and Ding was out of prep early. So like when you combine those things all together, a lot of it becomes an equation in your head where you try to figure out, well, what's a move that looks okay but probably isn't the top move. You try to hedge your bets because you don't know what's going on. Now, of course, when you have the eval bar, it's very easy. You've got the eval bar. Like, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Like, it's not difficult, but actually, like top level play, it's very different. The whole thought process, everything that's going on is just like it's just something you can't really relate to unless you've played at that level.
Thank you.
Maria, Photochess Kick Channel. I have a question based on my personal observation to Liren. It seems like today, even though the game started quite shaky and maybe time management was not ideal, when you went low on time, you were much more composed and in control of your emotions than in the game that you lost on time. And as someone who was inside the tank all this time, I felt like your opponent was much more shaky than you were. Is it true?
This is a good question. Yes, by the way, this is a great question. This is something that I've noticed too. This is a great question. I'll tell you why. Because I had this observation. I've had this observation in multiple games now. I had it in game one, but today, for example, like I saw this game progressing, and you're like, Ding is all nervous, he's shaking his head, he's unhappy. Then as soon as he gets low on time, he starts banging out these moves. It was like rook d5, was it rook d5? And then he bangs out, or rook d4, whatever it was. Then he bangs out f4, and then he bangs out king f4, rook h3. He bangs out knight g3, he bangs out rook b7. He starts banging out all these great moves. And And I think this is a very good question, because I would actually agree with Maria objectively that the thing is with Ding, it feels like when he actually thinks, he blunders. And when he doesn't think, he actually plays great. And it's a very interesting paradox that it feels like in this case. She watched a recap, I doubt it, but it actually feels true. It's kind of like Ali Reza. Someone mentioned Ali Reza Fallujah, where like when he gets down to a minute on the clock, he starts playing ridiculously well. But when he has all the time in the world, he doesn't play great sometimes. And it's like, it's one of those weird things where I actually think it's true. And I think it's a good question. This is easily the best question of the press conference. Easily the best question. We know Hikaru asked Maria. Yeah, I wish.
You can elaborate on whether you changed something in your preparation, in your mental preparation to the games, or you just feel much more in control.
I love this comment. Someone says Bing chilling, nah, Ding banging. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Before you answer that question, I just want to request that those who are online right now be the final people asking questions, that no one else go online. It's been a long game for the players, and I appreciate their time, and they got to go eat and all that.
Yeah, I have to find a move to stay in the game, and actually my play very bad when I was long time.
Well,
Here
in
I
one
made a
phase,
bad
yes. In one
decision
phase,
to
no.
take on A2. Also, on 40th move, I could have played knight c8, which I saw, but I rejected it.
It's a mix. I mean, it's right and wrong. He's right from the standpoint that in the first time control when he got low on time, he didn't play well. But I actually was incredibly impressed by Ding's play in the second time control. After move 40, his play was immensely good. I really was impressed.
Due to the passive approach. So
okay.
Not a perfect.
Yeah, I'm not asking about the moves precisely. I'm more about your intuition. If you relied on your intuition more, and it was just more comfortable to play for you under the time pressure. Your
I mean, she's right, by the way.
Practices, I sink into time trouble many times, so I get used
he's missing what she's asking. This is why I said before. I mean, they should have a translator so that like the clarity of the question, like he completely understands what's being said. Because obviously English is not his first language. So he's missing the actual point. But I think she's right. I think that generally when you look at the situation where Ding has been low on time, game 3 was a disaster, but he's also in a really bad situation. But in general, I think he's played much better when he hasn't had a lot of time on his clock than when he has. And I think that's also why, if Ding can somehow get this to a rapid tiebreaker, I think that Ding is going to win this match, because I think it's very clear to me that when they're getting low on time, Ding is just playing better. He's just playing better in general. So let's keep going.
Thank you both players for this amazing match on behalf of the whole internet community.
Hello, I'm Nemo on behalf of the Singaporean Chess Federation, and I have a question for both of you, but I will address this to Gukesh first. Gukesh, I noticed you were playing Puzzle Rush a couple of hours before your round today. Do you have a pre-game routine, and do you have any rituals or superstitions?
By the way, before they get into this question, I do want to tell you guys one thing that I will mention as well. Speaking of Puzzle Rush, I think I said this before, maybe I didn't, but Puzzle Rush is a single reason that I actually started doing better in the candidates in April. Up until the game against Abasov, I would spend all day preparing, just looking at openings in the evening and then in the morning and everything. And then my wife kind of actually told me that basically I should just start doing like Puzzle Rush. So like the game I think was at like 3 or 3:30. I did leave somewhere like I'm going to say 2:30, and like from like 1:30 to 2, I would just do Puzzle Rush before the before the game against Abasov, and basically every game from Abasov on to the end of the tournament, I would just spend like 30 minutes doing Puzzle Rush. Just wanted to add that for anyone who's wondering that it's not just like some random thing. Like it actually can be very beneficial.
Not much. I just try to follow a specific routine. Nothing huge as such, but yeah, Puzzle Rush is always nice to do to warm up my mind.
Chess.com propaganda, yes,
Same
exactly.
question for Liren. Do you have a pre-game routine? Do you have any rituals or superstitions?
Well, I get up and take a shower, then have some coffee.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Katarina from the German Chess Federation, and yesterday was the second rest day, and I was wondering if you spent it any different than the first rest day, and what did you actually do?
Yeah, I mean, I tried relaxing a bit. I prepared for some time, and also yesterday my my sponsor Westbridge Sandeep sir had come here to to watch the match and to support me. So it was really nice of him, and we had a nice chat. So that was quite nice.
I just spend the rest of it.
This is so painful, by the way.
Unlike the last rest day, I go out, have dinner.
Thank you.
No, I mean, this is so, I mean, it's so painful. Like, I don't know why. I mean, even if Dink says that, like, it's just not a good look when it's like, obviously he doesn't speak English that well. It's just, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like he's being bullied almost to me. It just, I don't know, it's not a good feeling at all. It's not a good feeling. I don't like it when, like, there's a question that's asked, he doesn't understand what's being said half the time, and then he says something, and it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know why they don't have, they should at least have a translator there to, like, translate the question. So, like, even if he wants to answer in English, he gets the gist of it. He should learn English then. Okay, that's a very American take. Thank you for that.
Hi, I'm Kyla, representing the local organizing committee, and my question goes to both players. As a chess fan, which has been your favorite World Championship match that you did not play in? And if you could just elaborate on why.
Wasn't this asked already?
For me,
this question?
I'm always fascinated by the 1972 Fischer-Spassky match. But also the 2013 Magnus Vichy match, personally for me. It was very nice because that was the one I visited in person, and it happened in my hometown. So these two are quite close to my heart.
I guess the answer was
72.
Anand match. Maybe it's the first time I closely follow the World Championship match.
Yeah, I would have said
thank you very much.
I would have said the same thing. Fischer-Spassky is easily the most iconic match in the history. It's like one of the only matches where I actually, like, know almost all the games. So, like, I'm not shocked that Gukesh match that. And then, of course, the Magnus Vichy match in Chennai.
Hello, Abhinav from US Chess. I wanted to ask both players, there's been a general consensus among the punditry that the closer and closer we get to the rapid tie breaks, Ding might be favored because of his past great experiences. Do both of you have any comments on this?
They're not gonna get an honest comment about this, I don't think.
I mean, it's
you just say you're confident.
Only halfway through the event. A lot has happened in this first 7 rounds, and I'm sure a lot will happen in the next 7 rounds. So it's too early to think about tie breaks. But as I've said before, I don't believe in favorites. I just believe in whoever plays the best chess on that day will win. So yeah, I mean, just a lot more chess to play. Yeah.
Before this game, maybe I have better performance overall because I have many good positions and not so many worse positions. But this game, he's totally in control. So it's a very exciting match.
Thank you both.
An exciting match indeed. We want to thank the players once again for spending time with us and sharing their thoughts. Game 8 begins the second half of the match. We'll be here tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, and have a good night.
Yeah, all right, you guys. So, yeah, pretty normalish press conference. A couple of decent questions. I mean, I would have liked to hear more questions about about like the actual game itself, like the critical moments with like E4 and the prep and everything else, but it is what it is. Still, you know, it's a tied match. I think overall, I think that everything is trending in Ding's favor right now is what I would say. Everything is trending there. I feel like Gukesh is getting a little bit frustrated when you hear I would say the over optimism, like obviously I'm outplaying him, for example, things of this nature. It feels like Gukesh is getting a little bit frustrated at this point, because he probably figures he should be winning the match. So I think everything trends in the favor of Ding, but I would argue that what I've said already a few times is that Ding is going to have to generate some play in a white game. He's going to have a white game, and he's going to have to maximize his chance and get a win, because I don't think he's going to be able to hold it together every black game. He's been in trouble. I mean, 3 out of 4 games, he's been completely out prepared. He's going to have to do something he's gonna have to do something with the white pieces, I feel like, because otherwise he's gonna lose one of these black games. I feel like I mean, if he can draw every game, kudos to him. I'd be very impressed. I'd be very, very impressed, but I feel like he's going to be under pressure in his black game, so he's going to need to find a way to do something with white, is what I would say. So at any rate, hope you guys enjoyed this press conference from after round number 7 was played in the FIDE World Championship. That's gonna be it for now, so I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure that you smash that subscribe button below, and we'll be back with more pressers and everything else here on our channel. So I'll see you guys very soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye.